Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 2 out of 2 games between Jagdsauce and AmberT in round 1 of the second European tournament. Today we are going to be seeing Sainte-Mère-Église, and on the Allied side, Jagdsauce is using the 101st Airborne. On the Axis side, AmberT has chosen the Festung Gross-Paris. So this is a really awesome matchup actually. I'm looking forward to how this is going to turn out. 101st being an airborne division against the Festung kind of shuts down the use of the bombers quite a lot. So AmberT will be forced to play around the ground, and that will be really interesting to see. So 101st, really good infantry. It can contest the town very well. It's got airborne engineers, airborne rifles, airborne pathfinders. It's got all those lovely units that can really pack a punch at the 100-meter range. AmberT, he does have some decent infantry, Landeschützen, Befehlungs, and he has the Feldgendarmerie to back those up. But whether or not they're going to be good enough to defeat airborne engineers remains to be seen, because AmberT kind of lacks those flamethrowers that will give him the lead in the town. So AmberT will most likely focus either on the top or bottom side, or maybe even both, just ignoring the town. Will try and contain Jagdsauce in the town, and therefore utilize his better fire supports elsewhere, because he does have things like the B2, for example, in Phase A, that will be able to shrug off the M22s that Jagdsauce will have. He will just have to worry about AT guns, which is nothing new. He can bring in some artillery maybe to accompany a push of Landeschützen and the B2, and that would work out quite well, and it looks like it's something that AmberT is going to be going for. However, I'm very surprised about the positioning that he's as to where he's placed it. Like, it looks like he's going to push the B2 into the town, which may not be the best idea in my opinion. But either way, let's have a look at Jagdsauce's units. It seems that he is very confident when it comes to deployment in where he's going to take his forces. So an airborne engineer on the top side. Actually, if that's placed just behind these tree lines in these orchards, it can control those areas very well indeed. But that's going to be accompanied by a 6-pounder and some recon. Further down we see an airborne engineer, 2 airborne rifles most likely, with the airborne leader and a pathfinder. Then the M22 following up, and also an M1 howitzer, I would say that is at the start, maybe to provide smoke and let those infantry get into position. On the bottom side it's going to be another pathfinder with some airborne rifles. Over on the side of AmberT, it looks like he's setting up some Landeschützen for a play into the town, accompanied by the Feldgendarmerie and the Panzer B2. On the top side, 2 Landeschützen covered by an IG-18, and on the bottom side currently 2 more Landeschützen. So AmberT definitely having a long and hard think about what he wants to do. He does also have this Puma available. I completely forgot about that one. Very strong unit that people who play the Festung can often take great advantage of in order to find many kills in the early game, and especially against a division that relies on the M22s like the 101st, there's potential for the Puma to get many kills. So we'll have to see if that comes about. It really depends how much Jagdsauce relies on armor in general, because otherwise it's just infantry kills. But then again, the Puma at close range with 3-star veterancy still has a machine gun at the end of the day and can chew through those infantry as well. So relatively even spacing here for AmberT. Few units to the town, few units to the bottom, few units to the top. Also brought in a FK at the start. For Jagdsauce, it was the M1 howitzer. He's going to be actually using HE at the start to try and engage AmberT's infantry. But these 2 Landeschützen, they're just going to be chilling, probably not trying to put too much pressure on. That's actually the LEFH 16. My bad, it's not the FK. I always get confused between those two. But either way, howitzer now coming down with its fire. Jagdsauce sitting pretty with the +1. B2 is trying to push up, and I'm just very, very surprised that this B2 is coming through the town. Airborne rifles, of course, do have the 200-meter range bazooka, and they can house hop very easily to take on a B2 when all you're utilizing to defend it are Landerschutzen. I think this B2 accompanying the Puma on the bottom side would have been a much better choice, working as a fire support unit to support the Landerschutzen as they suicide march forwards. That could have made a lot of ground indeed, but instead it's just going to be blunted in the town and really not do too much. Nice counter battery coming in though from AmberT, going to be hitting this M1 howitzer quite hard, and so far the Puma supporting the Landerschutzen has been quite effective. So Assalian is going to open up here as soon as these Pathfinders are pinned, since the Puma can run and find a surrender there down the main road, unless it decides to move down the bottom side, in which case those Pathfinders might just find themselves running away. Either way, 2 units of Panzer 35s are coming onto the field, and those are interesting units, especially in the early game. They can take on the Locust quite well, because you don't necessarily need a lot of AP to kill a Locust since they only have 3 armor. It does quite depend on the range though, since at max range there is still going to be, well, it's still going to be a hard time for the Panzer 35s to penetrate an M22. This Puma though is trying to get involved down here, find the shots onto some of this infantry and help kill it off. Landerschutzen still pushing on, and it's starting to dig in to Jagdsauce's lead, but the airborne rifles here are going to run forwards, and the bazooka finds the bailout onto the B2, which is all he needs to take that out of the equation. Now the airborne engineers can start pushing very aggressively into the infantry, and there is nothing AmberT can do about it. Yeah, he doesn't have any IGs or things set up outside the town to stop this from happening, so Jagdsauce could make a lot of ground here in the center of the map. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, M1 howitzer is getting direct hits into the Landerschutzen, which is working very much like an IG-18 and helping kill off the Landerschutzen. I think Jagdsauce is trying to find a surrender here, or maybe just kill off the Landerschutzen straight up by running into them with the Thompson, but VulcanHDGaming of course are there, and that makes the difference. Airborne rifles, oh, wow, 200-meter range there, finds the kill onto the Puma. That is the B2 and the Puma down in the early game, which is very significant indeed. So now Jagdsauce sitting in a very nice position to take on the Festung's early game, since the Festung do only have the 75 points per minute compared to the 100 points per minute that the Airborne can utilize. So a huge disparity of forces could come about at the start of the game here, which will make a comeback very difficult for AmberT in the late game. So AmberT now helping pin down and finish off these Landerschutzen, VulcanHDGaming running for the hills. LEFH going to be engaging the M22 to just try and prevent that from making any ground, but M3 gun does take out the Panzer 35, so M22 doesn't no longer have to worry about that. The AmberT is going to be reinforcing the bottom side with 2 units of infantry and an IG. IG is actually a pretty nice choice to take on the M22. Again, due to the low armor, the IG can pin a M22 quite easily, but P51 Mustang going to be utilized in order to pin the IG-18 and therefore allow the M22 to move forwards and potentially finish it off. And I like that Jagdsauce is prioritizing the Mustang here to help him get through these units sooner than later. But that is a very nice kill there from the M3 gun as it takes out an IG-18 before it unloads. Mustang's even coming in for the strafing run to try and finish the IG-18, but the LEFH with a shot onto the AT gun does kill it and forces back the M22 for the time being. But AmberT's infantry that did try to move forwards does get surrendered, and Jagdsauce now sitting with the 55% territory lead. Can the Mustang find the kill this time round? Yes, it does. And nice job there by Jagdsauce to get rid of that annoying IG and allow his airborne rifles to continue forwards. He's also marked the artillery, so he knows where it is to potentially hit it with a future airstrike, or possibly even the M1 howitzer, which I think may just be in range. Surprised to not see that firing. Sometimes, obviously, people forget about their artillery. I'm certainly one of those people. But this time around, Jagdsauce going to be opening up towards the Panzer 35, possibly to enable an engagement with his M22. SBW 201 or 204 has come in. That actually engages the M22 at close range, and the beautiful thing about these SBW 204s is they have 17 rounds per minute on a 5 AP gun, which is really, really irritating to deal with at close range, and something that the M22 fell prey to there. But now with the IG-18 and the 204 on target, the airborne rifles are going to start taking a beating. Not much ground to be made across the open, that's for sure. So Lander shoots, and they're trying their best to hold these airborne rifles at bay, but the quality of infantry here is so far in favour of Jagdsauce that he's found 59% territory lead. The airborne rifles are now opening up onto the IG-18. Airborne rifles moving down from the top side may get there and into range of the 204, which would be really nice to help get rid of this annoying threat here that is obviously armoured, and since the M22 went down, Jagdsauce doesn't have anything like that left, and that's a problem. But we can see the LFH does kill off the M1 howitzer. Nice counter battery again from AmberT. I'm surprised that Jagdsauce hasn't attempted to do the same though, especially being victim to it. M22 does find a kill onto the Panzer 35. 204 going to be coming in with its 5 AP round. IG-18 now opening up. M22 is just going to have to get out of there as soon as possible. Hides behind the building, going to be recovering its morale, and then it will try and go for that engagement again. Airborne rifles, they failed to hit with their bazooka. Force back the 204 though, and are going to take an engagement at close range with the IG-18. As the 30 cals open up, they might actually be able to pin the IG before it pins them. Look at the damage coming through there. The beauty of that HE between the M1 Garand and the 30 cal. But the Lander shoots in here might be able to save the day. There is no command, so these units can be surrendered if Jagdsauce is not too careful. M22 going to be coming in to provide that command. We do see that the P-51 Mustang has bombed the IG, or one of the IGs, on the top side. AmberT really struggling to hold on at the moment, utilising Panzer 35s to try and hold the infantry at bay. Has managed to force them back, but this is probably the remainder of his IGs on the top side. On the bottom side, Recon has just died. Jagdsauce's Pathfinders do go down. M22 though is on its way to try and take care of the 204 and support these airborne rifles going forwards. Lander shoots in, almost finding themselves pinned down, and that's something that we may see, but they have just backed off in time. Airborne rifles though, IG and 204, it's pretty damn nasty. They're going to have to back off. Jagdsauce now just under a +2, was sitting on a +2 for a little while, and has made now 500 points, so certainly has a very nice position here, and the kill onto the B2 and the Puma very early on was just so important and very well executed, and now that's left Jagdsauce in this position where he can really take advantage of his early game. And moving into phase B, I really want to see Jagdsauce start driving in the M4s and go for the throat, because AmberT is going to be trying to bring in obviously his answer to what is currently going on, but the M4s, they should be able to beat the majority of what AmberT can bring in this phase. And as you can see, we haven't had a single bomber yet from the Festung, which is something that they are very well known for usually. I love the use of these 204s though. AmberT is probably wishing that he'd used them sooner, as he does find another kill onto the M22 Locust. And I'm sure this will be something that both me and I do note going forwards playing Steel Division, because this isn't a natural sort of a matchup that you would think about. These 204s and these Panhards generally don't do well against other armour. They're great for cleaning up half tracks. But M22s in particular do have that low armour value, so against M22s or even Tetrarchs, they are absolutely fantastic due to their rate of fire. Now, Jagdsauce though, going to be coming in with the counter battery onto AmberT's artillery, which is something that I would have hoped to have seen sooner, but good that Jagdsauce has now started to utilise that. IG-18's going to try and take care of infantry on the top side, but that shot from the M1 howitzer went straight into the face of the Aufklärer, removing some of AmberT's recon on that top side. One really nice thing to note here is Jagdsauce positioning of these airborne engineers. A common mistake I see from new people is after you take a town like this, you leave your short range units on the edge of the town, and that is a really good way to get them killed, because often if somebody's going to try and push back into a town, they will have units to support them, so that if anything is on the edge, then it will get hit very hard, allowing the infantry to continue running forwards and get into that town themselves. So having them just slightly farther back basically means that if any infantry does get close, it just gets smashed to pieces without coming under fire from the support. So Mustang now going to be engaging the D520. On the top side we do see an IG-18 has gone down. Hummel's going to be coming in to the mid with the fire going down into the town. M22 though, that's going to be helping engage this infantry, as the 204 on this bottom side did get cleaned up. And this engagement between the D520 and the Mustang is probably going to go on for quite a while, as both of them will be continuing to circle each other. There was another aircraft brought in for Jagdsauce, so I'm surprised that didn't get involved in the engagement, but currently AmberT is making a little bit of ground. The AT gun obviously was dealt with earlier, so these Panzer 35s aren't really coming up against much resistance, but that's not going to be for long. As you can see, the M4DD coming in on this top side. M3 gun does take a shot at the Panhard MG as well, forcing that to fall back, and this M4 is going to be in a great position to engage all of this armour. So now a +1 for Jagdsauce, 26 minutes and 30 seconds until his victory at this rate. Can this M4 just clean all of these up? It does lack veterancy to hit the mark every time, but does have a long time to engage all of these units. M3 gun claims the kill onto the SPW-204. M4DD now focusing on the IG-18, which will enable his airborne rifles to move forwards. So nice kill there. That's going to be one of the last IGs remaining. I think there's just this one on the bottom side, and Jagdsauce should be clear of those. What I am surprised about is how well AmberT has managed to hold on so far, because Jagdsauce has been in a commanding position this whole game, but I think it mainly comes down to the division at the end of the day. The fact that the 101st rely so much on infantry and only have M22s to really push salience in the early game. But now we have M4s on the field, that should change things around a little bit. But Jagdsauce getting a bit close there for comfort with the Panzer 35. You don't want to give that Panzer 35 a chance to penetrate ever. But really nice use of the Thunderbolt here. Comes in with the one 25 HE power bomb, two 15 HE power bombs, blows up the vehicle that has brought in the Flak M36 and leaves the Flak M36 on 2 health. There is a second one on the field, AmberT trying to lock down the skies so that he can potentially use his bombers. Moving into the late game, 101st does fall off quite a bit, and that's something that AmberT is most likely trying to count upon. However, he can't afford to allow Jagdsauce to sit on a +2 if that's going to be the case. Not at this point, because Jagdsauce is already coming up to 1,000 points and we're not even into phase C. So that is a strong position for Jagdsauce to be in, and will give him a base from which to defend. And since obviously Jagdsauce is great in the town with his infantry, that's going to be hard to dislodge, and AmberT is going to have difficulty doing so. But on the top and bottom side, that's really where AmberT needs to focus. He has brought in the S307 pack here, and that's going to be trying to find the kill onto the M4. Marder 3 also being brought in alongside another one of these Flak M36s. It really looks like AmberT is trying to set up for these bombers. So it'd be interesting if they do come in and where they get focused, because if the bombers are successful and manage to bomb the town, for example, then a lot of this infantry will just be straight up pinned, and then a unit that can fast move forwards may be able to find multiple surrenders. It could just be standard infantry as well. If you get some Befehlungs in, you can just charge down the main road and just try and surrender as many units as he can before he unloads them, and then allow those 15-man squads to just go ham. Since we're in Phase B and we're moving on to Phase C, it will actually more likely be ROA with their close-range machine guns. But we'll have to wait and see. Bottom side, more infantry is coming in to reinforce. But no more AT down here at the moment. So I'm very surprised that Jagdsauce hasn't got more aggressive with his infantry, but I think it's most likely due to the low numbers on his airborne rifles. M1 is going to find itself counter-batteried once again, Hummel trying to take those shots. I think the M1 was trying to focus the LEFH, but the Hummel came in and had a go at the M1. So now glider rifles are going to be backing up this push on the bottom side. They're going to be just straight up running for these buildings. Airborne rifles covering them from a distance with the 30 cals, and the Pathfinder brought in for recon. M22 is going to try and clean up the IG-18. P-51 Mustang going to be trying to bomb that out and pin down the ROA in the process. Can these flak M36s find a kill? Potentially. No, it looks like the Mustang's just a little bit too quick there. D520 obviously not fast enough. These things only go 500 kilometers per hour. So no chance. Nice kill though onto the M1. Both of the artillery pieces of Jagdsauce are now dealt with. However, since AmberT has focused quite a lot on his AA, it may shut down the use of aircraft from Jagdsauce in the future. Didn't stop that Mustang on the bottom side though. The flak M36 is unfortunately not doing the job. 204 though might do the job with the 1000 meter range against the M22. Just fires so damn quickly. You can hear the gun firing over and over again. Rate of fire really coming in handy. But Jagdsauce has a really nice, neat line across this map. 60% territory lead. And just needs to maintain it, honestly. Every second that he's sitting on a +2, he's going to put himself in a better and better position to defend into the late game. Now, of course, AmberT can bring in Panthers in the late game. And those may be good enough to help support an infantry push on the top and bottom side. But I think what's more likely to happen here is we're going to see AmberT focus on possibly the bombers and get his infantry into this town. So an ambitious move here from AmberT, investing his ROA into this push. And you can see that Jagdsauce is just lying in wait here as the ROA advance. He's got them in a position where the support should not be able to fire. Flampanzer is going to be backing these up as they arrive. Pathfinder's holding fire as well. At this point they should probably open up, but are going to come under a hell of a lot of fire. So backing off now. So how is Jagdsauce going to manage this fight? He's got his airborne engineers, but he's up against a hell of a lot of ROA, and those do have the 14 HE at close range. Thunderbolt does try its luck to get some bombs into these infantry, and if it was successful that would have been absolutely dire, but due to the Thunderbolt not having any veterancy, the M36 has got the better of it. 204 does go down. Airborne engineers, can they be managed well? M22 has gone down to the Flampanzer B2. More infantry is coming in. Jagdsauce really going hard for this town. ROA, one of them left on one man already. But you can see these airborne engineers, they are down to 2 men. The Ford GPA has got way too far up. It dies, but does manage to get the off-map down. That was a huge mistake there from Jagdsauce, allowing that off-map to get that far up. Airborne leader Winters does get hit since it engages from the church, and this off-map strike has the potential to be so damn dirty. It came in just in time as Jagdsauce panicked to get that off the main road. Airborne rifles trying to keep these units at bay, but AmberT really left himself in a tough position here. That off map is just so damn disgusting. It is ruining AmberT's infantry. They are going to have to run for their life. Flampanzer B2 does get surrendered. Another unit of ROA goes down, and that is the hopes and dreams of those men completely destroyed, as well as their limbs. So now more infantry being brought in for the slaughter. That off map was just absolutely just crazy. Crazy good for Jagdsauce, crazy bad for AmberT. Wow. I'm not entirely sure why AmberT was convinced that pushing into the town with that much infantry was a good idea. But maybe thought that he had the air covered against the bombers and therefore wasn't going to be hit by much else. But must have completely discounted the great off-map that the 101st can utilise, and Jagdsauce bringing that in as a counter was absolutely perfect. Just a shame that he mismicroed it right into the face of the B2 and got it killed. But either way, does hold the ground, and the further that Jagdsauce gets into phase C, the better. He's so close to 2,000 points now, and AmberT is just going to need more and more ground to really bring this game back at this point. Panzer IV-H going to be engaging these glider rifles. Not really much they can do about that. Ideally they should have been on return fire, so that when these Landerschutzen and ROA got close, they did take a lot of damage. But here we go again. Another off-map strike coming in from Jagdsauce. Realised that that was the perfect choice for this engagement. Going to try and utilise it again, but unit going down in the town there. These Landerschutzen, I think, are going to end up getting out of the way of this particular off-map strike. Maybe AmberT saw it, or just does not want to fall for the same thing twice. These two infantry, they're going to be trying to push in on the top side, assisted by a Stug 3. That's certainly an interesting choice, but here goes the off-map once again. One of the Landerschutzen completely annihilated. The rest of those strikes not too effective. Mustang able to get the shot off on the bottom side though. M22 goes down to the Panzer IV. Can the M5A1 win at close range? It can. With the ROA pinned down here, this could be a potential for a big salient. And this is going to allow Jagdsauce once again to maintain the +2. Solid attempt on this top side now to make a push. S07 pack, Stug 3, Flak M36 covering the advance of multiple infantry. And this is something that I kind of expected AmberT to try sooner. I really didn't expect the attempt into the town, at least not without the bombers. Like, there was the potential that just a couple of bombers could have completely pinned all of the forces of Jagdsauce's in the town, allowing all that ROA to just drive straight on through and surrender everything. But it kind of ended up happening the other way around, because Jagdsauce's artillery found the pin onto all of AmberT's infantry, and therefore surrendered AmberT's infantry. So yeah, it was just an interesting play. Like, I didn't expect that at all from AmberT, and I think he knows better, and he probably won't try that one again, knowing that there is off-map still about. So meanwhile on the top side, we can see the Stug 3 just taking out the M4DD there, which is going to open the way for these Landerschutzen to continue their charge across the open ground. And this is where Jagdsauce needs to start to worry, because he only has a limited amount of armour, and if it starts getting picked off, he won't have much left to really support his infantry on the ground, and that's something that can really be punished with the 101st. So Jagdsauce, or AmberT, certainly making his move up here. This is something I would have liked to have seen sooner, like I already mentioned, but better late than never. T-47 Thunderbolt coming in with the two 25 HE power bombs. Going to absolutely annihilate that half track. Now going to fall prey to the D520 as well, unless it can outrun it, which it does. Those Thunderbolts are so damn quick. B2 going to be pushing towards this town. The SDKFZ 10 does come in, gets shot at, unveils a Pack 40. Oh, that one-shots the M4DD. That was nasty. Unvetted Pack 40, a little bit of stress, no problem. Okay. M22 engaging the Landesschützen on this top side. M10 moving in as well. Got to be careful though, doesn't want to reveal itself against the S307 pack. The 307 pack will aim faster than the M10, potentially. Never mind. M10 gets the shot off. Oh, just after the S307 pack. But M10 scores the kill, and the S307 pack just hit a track wheel destroy. So that was actually quite a nice engagement for Jagdsauce, but leaves his M10 out to dry as the Landesschützen do continue to press forwards. Those AA pieces just seem that little bit too far back at the moment. This P51 just about managed to get his bombs off before it gets pinned. But look at this on the bottom side. The M22 or the M5A1, the infantry, it's all been surrounded. And that's something that AmberT may be able to take advantage of here. He's brought up 2 infantry assisted by a Panzer 35 and they may be able to do the job. The town's also now being surrounded, again with the limited amount of armour on the side of Jagdsauce. He's very contained in this town and can't really see any decent places to place off map. Like the best place would probably be either here onto this onto these ROA and the Landesschützen and stuff, or maybe onto some of these vehicles. But for now, still a +1 for Jagdsauce. He is under a lot of pressure, and you can see that the 101st is running out of steam in the late game. But AmberT's just found his mojo. He started to push into the top and bottom side. He's still pressing into the town, mind you. Just, it's kind of happened because he's gone around it first. So now we see D520, finally a bomber from AmberT. And bombing this M5A1 will allow the Panzer 35 to get aggressive. B2, however, has gone down. Looks like those airborne rifles found the bazooka round into the side of the Flammpanzer, and that's going to isolate these couple of Landesschützen and giving back ground to Jagdsauce. So he's holding on for the time being. B51 does come in for the shots onto the JU188, but cannot ignore the D520, and it's going to continuously be fired upon by the Flak M36, and surely this D520 can find the kill this time around. It has limited ammunition left though. 2 HE from the 30 cal does the job. Nice kill there for the D520. Usually they do really badly. Oh, this Stug was lucky on the top side. Double bazooka miss from the airborne rifles. Will that happen a second time round? Almost. Internal fragments from one of them ends up just being a surrender in the end. Here comes some more off map. Gonna smash into these Landesschützen. If it actually hits the mark, which it does, well, there you go. Landesschützen are taken care of. 1 unit left. Not really going to be enough for AmberT to push with. But, yeah. AmberT is really bashing his head against a brick wall now. He's losing so many units. Another B2 goes down. Fantastic job by Jagdsauce to gain the advantage in the early game and just maintain the ground moving into Phase B. Probably realised that he couldn't continue to push because he doesn't have enough armour to do that. But just has been annoying down here. Has this M5A1 take another Panzer 35 out? Yes, this Marder 3 killed the leader there, the rifle leader. But is it enough? No, it's not. There's 4 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock. Jagdsauce is still ticking up the points. AmberT just quite simply cannot make back that much ground in time. This game has gone in Jagdsauce's favour and he has secured the win. There is absolutely no way that I can see AmberT bringing this back. He's going to need like +5, +6 even to win this game in 4 minutes. Bazooka though, can that clean up the Marder? It does not. I am extremely surprised how badly these bazookas have been missing. Pack 40 hasn't missed though. That takes out the M5A1. And, well, some extraordinary engagements, that's for sure. AmberT gonna have his go with the off map this time around, but Jagdsauce still holding strong in the town. AmberT gonna be throwing his Opal Blitz munition away. Maybe the plan here is send the Opal Blitz munition in with some ammunition left, fire at it, blow it up, pin down the infantry, and then drive in and surrender everyone. Maybe that would work. That would actually be a really, really cool strategy to try and pull off. Suicide charge an Opal Blitz into the enemy, let them capture it, kill it, and then find the surrenders. Yeah. Why has nobody ever thought of that before? Either way, M5A1 does die on the bottom side due to the Panzerschreck. But the P47 has had enough of that, comes in with the 25 HE power bombs, blows up the half-track and the Panzerschreck. That Thunderbolt's going to outrun the D520. And, well, that takes away some of the threat on the bottom side, pins down the majority of the units, and now the airborne rifles just have to be a little bit careful and back off. Looks like AmberT's picked up some infantry here with the SDKFZ7. Needs to be a little bit careful about the 50 cal killing that. 50 cal's definitely pretty lethal, and does do so indeed. Would you look at that? He did it. AmberT killed his own Opal Blitz munition and pinned the units of Jagdsauce. He's also going to off-map them now, but doesn't really have much to try and take advantage of that. I'm pretty sure AmberT's on the last legs of his infantry at this point, as so many Landerschutzen have died trying to push into Sainte-Mère-Église. It's crazy. This has been an absolutely awesome game to watch. I've really, really enjoyed it so far. And honestly, well played to Jagdsauce. I think he's held his ground very well. Surprised though that AmberT went for the town engagement, got punished for it, then attempted to go elsewhere but just didn't have the forces in tow. If that ROA push had come into the top or bottom side supported by the B2s, I think he would have had a lot more success, because Jagdsauce just really doesn't have the forces to stop that from happening. Like, he's trying to rely so much on these aircraft on the side of Jagdsauce, and AmberT realised that and utilised the flak M36s to try and pin them back, or pin them down and force them back. But like, it just didn't. The M36s were too far back to start with, and it just seemed that he didn't have them in the right position because he pushed into the town, right? And if he'd focused the M36s on one side and then tried to push on that side, then he may have made a breakthrough. But we didn't see that, of course, in the end. And eventually this M10 on the top side did get fixed up, so that's now getting involved again. It's going to finish off the flak M36. Tiger E's now on the field, though. And that's just going to be a little bit scary for a while, but can quite simply be ignored due to there being 7 seconds left on the clock until Jagdsauce finds his victory. +2 does turn into a +1, but AmberT is going to surrender, and that is it. Jagdsauce finds victory against AmberT, winning the second game, making it 1-1 between these two players. 34 minutes and 54 seconds. Jagdsauce is victorious. So, great job. I really, really liked watching this game. It was very, very fun. 2,955 kills to 2,280 losses in the end. But yeah, strategy from AmberT pushing into the town was where it really fell apart for him. I thought that he would possibly wait for the late game because the 101st is very strong in phase A and B. But when he made that push and got punished, it was pretty much curtains, because Jagdsauce had too many points, and even if AmberT was successful after that, there just wasn't enough time. And of course, Jagdsauce is going to do all in his power to stop AmberT from making ground. So he had that against him as well. So in the end, kills, we see the airborne rifle killing that Panzer B2. Did not need to be in the town, in my opinion. Yes, and a couple of lander shoots them to sit on the edge, supported by like a couple of IG-18s. But no need to really like fully push into it. Just have the B2 with the Puma, push one side of the map, find the ground. I think that would have been a much better strategy. This P-51 though, really nicely used. Early on, bombed the IG, was kept in the air to strafe it to finish off that 1 health, which was really, really smart. M22 finds a couple of kills onto these Panhards, but those Panhards definitely did a lot of damage in return. P-47 Thunderbolt, of course, found a few kills with the 25 HE power bombs. This naval battery, though, absolutely awesome. Didn't get like crazy amount of kills because obviously it got killed before it could get its second and third strike off, but the first strike there killed 3 ROA and a Fel Gendarmerie and left the rest to be surrendered by other units. M5A1 killed the Panzer IV, killed the Panzer 35 on the bottom side. That Panzer IV kill was crucial. I think Jagdsauce surrendered or sacrificed a M22 so that the M5 could make that happen. M10 killed the S-307 pack in the end with that really close engagement. The S-307 pack got off the first shot but wasn't lethal. M10 was. Then found the M36 later on. In terms of losses, really nice counter battery from the start from AmberT. Really knew what he wanted to do, which was shut down the artillery play out of Jagdsauce, forcing Jagdsauce to then use his air force, which was then countered by the flak M36s. So that sort of thinking was really smart from AmberT. I like that a lot. But the majority of the kills just weren't there in the early game, as you can see. And then the Hummel comes in and it starts to kill off a lot of the fire support units, but there just wasn't too much significant. And this Stug just came in so late, and you can see it came in like and killed the M4DD and the M22. It did really well. Pack 40 killed the M4 and the M5A1, and when the armor starts to drop, that's when like the door opens. But it just wasn't, the door was just not in the right place. He went to the town instead of the top or bottom side. It reminded me of like Alice in Wonderland. You got all those doors. Which one do you choose? He chose the wrong one. Quite simply, chose the wrong one. Anyway, enough with stupid analogies. That has been an awesome game to watch. Really, really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys did too. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.